You really should mark Saturday, September 13th on your calendars to be at the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater here in Quincy, because a combination of the Thalia Theater Troupe and the Friends of the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater are putting together an entire day of live entertainment, from theatrical plays to live music. There'll be some food and refreshments as well. It is called From Colonial to Contemporary, a Quincy celebration, again Saturday, September 13th, 1 to 8 p.m. Joining us to tell us all about it, a familiar face and name, Ann Danby, and her legendary husband Ian is with us as well. So the Danbys are in the house.
The Danbys are in the house.
Yeah,
That's
great
right.
to have you. Thanks for coming over. Ann, nice to see you again. Ian, nice to meet you.
Likewise.
For the first time.
Yeah.
And I know we touched on this briefly last time you were here, about this combination of live theater, live music, and then just fun. This is an unbelievable event that's going to be happening, and probably, I would say, a first of its kind at the amphitheater.
I got the idea when I went to the Tricentennial display at City Hall, and I saw what they did, and I said, "Well, we're not doing that." But I learned.
That was a week-long celebration.
Well, it was
right?
a week-long celebration, and some of what happened during Flag Day, where they had all of the iconic floats and things like that, was part of it. So.
Right.
But they had a lot. I learned that Pageant Field at the time was still owned by the Adams family,
Right.
and that it was called that because of the pageantry. And there were maybe 500 citizens involved, and I thought, well, I can't get 500 people.
Right.
Probably about 100 people on the organising committee alone. It was huge.
It was huge.
Yeah.
But
That-
the idea
For
of it-
Quincy 300, we're talking.
For
right?
Quincy
Yeah,
300,
yeah. But
that's
the
right.
idea. Something struck a nerve with you.
But
I
it
said.
struck. I said, well, we got to do something.
Yeah.
We got to do something. We've been. Friends Fridays is very popular.
Yeah.
We've done some theater on the stage. The stage wouldn't have been there 100 years ago.
Oh.
I mean, Ruth Gordon wasn't that old, and so.
Right. Exactly.
But what can we do?
Yeah.
And so I went to the Historical Society. I talked to the library. I got my hands on the script that they had from 100 years ago. Sarah had always had the idea of us having a play contest.
Sarah Callard.
Sarah Callard,
Yeah.
who's the head of Friends of Ruth Gordon Amphitheater. And she said, why don't we do a contest for some plays? And we got submissions from around the country. It was
I remember you
amazing.
mentioned that last time.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And we picked 5 of them.
Okay.
One of them is from Cindy Brandy, who is from Quincy, and it's her very first play that she wrote, but it's terrific. It's about a woman who was a welder during World War II at the shipyard. And so we got these wonderful plays. So, okay, now we've got the plays. Now I just have to get a bunch of directors and actors.
Oh, yeah, that.
But we also, we'd been doing the rock festivals. And
Yes.
so we said, well, let's also have some music. And so then we wanted to get some music. And then I said, well, there's all the, okay, we don't have the floats, but what if we have everybody as much as possible on Pageant Field? And so we started talking to the various places, the Quarry Museum. We talked to Dillon's Health Spa, which is the Finland steam bath. So for people that don't know, there was a lot of immigrants from Finland, and the steam bath is still there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so
They worked in the granite industry.
they
Actually.
worked in
Yeah.
the granite industry, and our different industries have brought different people. And then, as I had mentioned briefly last time about the big book, the big book is happening.
Yes.
And so one of our stage managers and just woman extraordinaire, she and her friend Colin are building the big book. We've seen Ian has helped us with the editing of the big book to make sure we've spelled everything correctly. But that is going to be a centerpiece on Pageant Field that talks about the history of Quincy. And she is also organizing a dance showcase that'll come just after the plays that will have some of the different immigrant dances, some of the more recent ones, Through Dance, who does Latin dance. We're going to have Yee's Southern Lions for Chinese dragon dance, and a couple of others. So we're getting all these bits and pieces together. I've had wonderful support from people that are involved either in Thalia Theater Troupe or Ruth Gordon Amphitheater. And yeah, so it's all coming together.
It's happening. Yeah.
It's happening.
I mean, it is 7 hours of just nonstop fun, and
Yes.
it's free as well, right?
And it's
To-
free, just like so we still follow that. It will. The food is not free.
Obviously, right?
Right?
But
It's
the entertainment.
But the entertainment is
Yeah.
all free. Yeah, and we have local, Marcus Johnson. People by this point should know who Marcus Johnson is, and he's going to start it up at the pavilion at 1:00 and start playing there. And one of the bands we had, their name is Quincy Boys, and one of the bands that's playing.
Okay.
So we've gotten just phenomenal entertainers.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Booths for people to visit and learn more from. Trailside Museum is bringing some animals.
Love that. That's great.
Yep.
Before we get, I want to get a little more in depth about the plays, if that's okay.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
before we do that, I think we should talk to Dana and to Ian rather, and get your background and how you got involved with this and what you do for.
So I'm the chief voluntold of the Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre and Thalia Theatre Troupe. No. I have a background in a little sound engineering from my college days.
Okay.
And I'm very technical. I've worked in software pretty much my entire career.
Okay.
So I'm a natural fit to be involved with the actual technical stage side of the amphitheatre and also the theatre troupe. So I've been pulled in and pushed around, and yeah, it's going to be a fantastic day. I'm going to be very busy, I'm sure, all day, because I have to manage not only the main stage but also the acts up on the pavilion.
Right.
So to buy us some time on stage to switch the stage around, we're having acts up at the pavilions,
Gotcha.
solo acts, singing. It's going to be fun.
So have you been involved, Ian, from the start of the Friends group?
Not quite. I
Okay.
wasn't crazy enough to go and stand outside in the rain. I let others go stand outside in the rain, but from about halfway through the first year,
Oh, all right. Okay.
you know, I started doing the announcing of the bands
Yes.
before they come on,
Okay.
and letting people know what food options we had that week,
Yes.
and anything else they need to know. Reminding parents to keep their kids from climbing up the wall. on
Yeah,
the back.
it's important. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure how much that helped, but I tried.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Fortunately now we put barriers up on the
Oh.
back, and that did solve that particular
Oh,
concern.
good, good,
Which
okay.
is good.
Didn't know that. Yeah. Very excellent. So do you enjoy it? I mean, do you?
Yeah,
do you
I
get pleasure
do.
out
I
of it?
mean, well, I've never been fond of public speaking.
But he's really good at it.
Aha.
So I challenge myself to go on the stage, and every week I step off the stage, and immediately through my head goes a list of things I meant to talk about or forgot.
That's perfectly normal, by the way.
Yeah, or the
Yeah.
ways I'd envisage bringing up a topic,
Right.
or a little snippet, or
Yeah.
or a little joke or something, and it goes completely out of the head, and I just deadpan it, and I'm like,
Totally normal. That's,
Yeah.
that really is, honestly.
so it's good. It's good for me,
Yeah.
and yeah, I do enjoy it a little bit, and I enjoy the sense of accomplishment that comes
Yeah.
when I look around. I see 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 people enjoying a gig and having a great time.
Yeah.
It's
And
very satisfying.
What's it like to work with your spouse?
It's fine. I work at one end of the venue, she works at the other. No.
So everybody gets along.
Actually, we would like to spend a little bit more time together enjoying the gigs. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're working them all of them.
Yeah. Behind the scenes. right?
the Friends of Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre's primary fundraiser is by selling T-shirts, and I'm normally stuck worrying about the stage and been managing the T-shirts during the evenings. So over the next 2 seasons, we want to get a few more volunteers involved in handling the T-shirts, so we can spend some time together.
Yes.
And maybe find someone else who could help manage the stage from time to time, so
Right.
I could have the occasional week off.
Yes,
But,
yes, yeah. From a technical aspect, Ian, are there things that you'd like to see at the amphitheater improved?
Yes, there are a few things. I mean, the city, the Parks and Rec department do a wonderful job supporting us, but the sound equipment that they have isn't really large enough for the venue, and it's old as well. Well, the mixing desk and that side of it's old.
Okay.
We would like to have a few lights around.
Okay.
But most of the bigger bands that we come in on the Fridays now, the Friends Fridays, we're bringing in professional sound and lights.
Yes.
maybe that is our longer term answer
Okay.
for it. So.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now's the time to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
If we're
It's,
going to be active, and it's obviously very active and hugely successful. So it sounds like the city may be able to invest in the property a little bit better. Yeah.
I hope so. It would be really nice to see the ramp situation sorted out.
We've talked about that, and
Yes,
for
we
handicapped
do
accessibility.
keep talking about it.
Yeah.
It would be, it is the biggest thing that
Sure.
people ask about.
I would think, yeah.
You know, some of the things he talks about with the sound equipment, they may not notice as much, but they notice that the ramp hasn't happened yet, and they have to do it off season,
Yep.
right? So after September 13th, if we're lucky,
Is that the last performance for the season?
it is.
Okay.
Yep,
All
it's
right.
the end of the season.
Going out with a bang.
Going out with a bang. That's right.
As it
that's
were.
right.
There's a couple of concerns or a couple of reasons why we want a ramp. One is for accessibility reasons for those who are lesser mobile. But the other reason is getting £100 speakers on and
Right.
off of the stage. It can be a real challenge.
Moving equipment around, yeah.
moving equipment around.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, so that's tops on the agenda, it sounds like.
I think so. Yes.
Good. I called you Dana before because the first play, they're 5 one-act plays that are happening, is the Bill Dana Museum, right?
It is.
I see the way you set yourself up for that segue.
See, he's learning.
See, this is what I mean.
He's
very
already
popular.
learning. Yeah.
Exactly.
So the whole event kicks off with these Slices in Time in Quincy, one-act plays, 5 of them. How many were submitted, by the way?
Over 20.
Really?
Yeah, it
From
was
all over
wonderful.
the country?
In fact, we picked 5 that were less specific to this event.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a 5 one-act play event, just that, on a Friends Friday next summer.
Oh,
You mean
okay.
most specific to this event?
More specific?
Yes. You chose the 5 most specific.
This is why I needed him for the big book.
Yeah, he's like the spell checker.
He really is good at it.
A living thesaurus over
He
here.
is. He is. He keeps us honest.
So Bill Dana, of course, a Quincy native,
Right.
comedian, writer,
Yep.
Steve Allen show, frequent.
I didn't know he did Get Smart's theme song.
Yes.
I mean, so many things.
And he wrote a couple of All in the Family episodes. I
Yeah.
mean, very prolific for sure in that period.
So that particular play is one person who's never heard of him, somebody else trying to convince him that they should open a museum, and so hilarity ensues between the two of them debating whether that's a good thing to do. So you
so
get
that's
to,
the play.
and that's the play.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And how long are the plays?
Most of the plays are anywhere as short as 8 minutes
Yep.
and as long as about 25.
Okay.
They're pretty short, an hour and a half, 5 plays.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Quick moving and quick set changes. Ian.
He's so happy about that.
I am sure.
Yeah.
Quick costume changes too for the
Well,
for
the
the
costume
actors.
changes, yes. So I don't know if we ever talked about it, but when I wrote Remembering Ruth, I had one actor to play all the male parts, and I've promised him if we do Remembering Ruth again, which I think people would like us to
I
do,
agree.
that we would have more than one actor because the costume changes were a little much. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You have
Sometimes you need a
combinations of
dresser.
costumes from the
Yeah.
last scene.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got my socks on. from
Yeah,
that
there
scene.
is. Like you just change the hat or the jacket. I mean,
Right.
actors figure that out.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we should, before we talk about the other plays, talk
Yeah.
about the Thalia Theater Troupe. We haven't
Yeah.
really delved too much into that organization and who you are and what you do.
Well, so we were formed. So the purpose of the Thalia Theater Troupe is to be a troupe for 2 types of actors: people who are professional level actors but decided not to try. They had a family, whatever, and they've decided they don't want to go to New York. They don't want, but they're brilliant. They're well trained. One of our directors for this for one of the shows has an MFA.
Wow.
There's others that are theater teachers. So, in fact, we have a number of actors in the shows that are also directors, which. So a certain level of skill, and then the other groups are the ones that are aspiring actors that you might see sometime in the future on TV or
Yeah.
on Broadway or whatever. And so, but they're local people, and then the theater that we do is about here. So Slices of Time in Quincy. In April, we did a show about Vincent van Gogh at the Quincy Arts Gallery.
Right.
I'm in conversations with some of our other iconic places to do plays there as
Really?
well.
Okay.
And so, but it was born from doing Remembering Ruth, and then last year we did Shakespeare Abridged, and the play Shakespeare Abridged is a theater company trying to put on all the Shakespeare plays. And the actors in it said, "Are we the inaugural group for the Thalia Theater Troupe?" And I said, "You know, the people last year."
Yeah.
but I realized that there was really a hunger for that, and so anybody who is, last year there was somebody who had not done theater in years, and she's now, since she did Shakespeare Bridge, like, you can't stop her. There's a woman that's going to be in one of our plays this year, hasn't done something in 40 years.
Wow.
We convinced her to audition and went, "Oh no, you must play this particular role." So I'm very excited about the Thalia
see
Theater
that,
Troupe.
yeah.
And there's so much talent in this area. Ruth Gordon, Lee
Yeah.
Remick, there's so much talent in this area, and there's so much interesting stuff in this area that you can do shows about. So that's really what the Thalia Theater Troupe
It's a
is.
true community theater. It's to its
Yeah.
core, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is Thalia, Anne?
So the reason it's named Thalia Theater Troupe is we're honoring Ruth Gordon when she, I'll tell you what Thalia is, but when she started doing theater in high school, that was the name of the theater club at the high school.
Oh.
But Thalia is one of the Greek goddesses of theater.
Oh, okay. Oh, very good. Thank you for that explanation.
Absolutely.
So the first play is the Bill Dana Museum, then Colonial Times.
So Colonial Times I have adapted from that tricentennial play.
Yep.
We've taken a few scenes from it that start from 1625 and Thomas Morton, because I wanted to understand, why is it 1625? We're not Quincy yet. And it
Just
goes
settled.
It goes up to
Yeah.
when we become Quincy. So there's three
Gotcha.
scenes within it. The first scene is about Thomas Morton. The second is when the Massachusetts tribe agrees to say, yes, there's this paper that says, yes, you are Braintree, therefore you're not Plymouth. And England accepts that. And then the third one is when we become Quincy. So it's not really long, but it's an adaptation from the tricentennial play.
Okay. Is there a maypole in that?
There just might be
There might be a maypole. Okay.
we have, in fact, acquired a maypole.
Oh, really?
We have.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We don't want to give away too much.
No, but yes, I'm excited to be
teasers here.
able to say we are, in fact, going to have a maypole.
I'm guessing the Welderettes are the female.
It's Flo. It's Flo, yeah. Yeah, and Cindy Brandy wrote it.
Yeah.
And it follows her life, so it isn't just a single slice, but it's her telling the audience about her life. And I'm not going to say much more
All right.
than that, but it's several periods of what happens at the shipyard during World War II.
the Rosie the Riveter type
Yeah,
stories, right?
yeah, but our Rosie, who was Flo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Strange Interlude, 1929. I'm guessing is
Yes.
based on the Eugene O'Neill play?
It is exactly,
Okay, all right.
and the mayor who decided to let us have Strange Interlude be done here.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the actors talking about it, and you have the mayor, and so yeah. I won't say much more than that, but it's. One of the things I liked about the play, and one is it's so emblematic of who Quincy is when it comes to, we're not just a suburb of Boston. There's something very unique,
An independent spirit, right?
a very independent spirit, and I think a number of these plays represent that.
Ah, okay. And the
Yeah.
final one is, appropriately, A Revolutionary Roast.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is a delightful play that takes the later letters of Jefferson and Adams, and sets it in modern day celebrity roasts. And so Thomas Jefferson is sponsoring the roast for Adams, and as you might imagine, he's not completely happy about
Yeah,
it.
well, they had this tumultuous relationship. It was a love-hate thing going on between the two of them.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and so it is on display.
Ah, very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Will any of the playwrights be at the
So obviously
performance?
Cindy will be here.
Oh, Cindy, right, yeah.
A couple of them, one of the playwrights is in Florida
Wow.
and will not be able to make it here. So we haven't heard from all of them yet, but not all of them, unfortunately, will be able to make it.
Yep.
But they're all very excited to have been selected.
Yes, I would
and
think, yeah.
I'm certainly hoping that QATV will be able to record it. I will then be able to say, here you go. This
Right.
is what you got to what we did for you.
Right. How we did it, right?
How we did it, yeah.
All set with the actors?
Yes, I would like a few more people to dance around the maypole than I have.
You can never have too many dancing maypole people.
They don't have
right?
any lines. If anybody wants to come and dance around a maypole as part of a play, they can let me know.
Reach out? Okay.
That's right, but we've been in rehearsal. Tech is on Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
Where he figures out, because you talked about the costumes.
Yes.
But one of the things he and Ed Krasnow, who is our other technical person, the two of them have been talking about, is you also have to change microphones when you have 5 plays and that many actors.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so that's one of their concerns, is that they know
Plan of who wears which mic.
Who's wearing
when.
which mic?
Yeah.
Okay.
what
yeah.
channel are they
See,
on.
these are the things, behind the scenes things that, that the audience doesn't think about.
No,
Yeah.
they're going to get to enjoy a play. And if for
Right.
some reason, if somebody sounds a little quiet for a brief moment, I'm sure Ian will sort
He's
it out.
running to the soundboard to make an adjustment. Yeah,
I
exactly.
think I'll be sitting on the soundboard.
Sitting
all
on
day,
it.
yeah.
Well, to that end, are any volunteer opportunities available?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there are,
So,
okay.
so I will say that if anybody wants to help be a dresser, you joked about it, but it
Yeah.
would be helpful to have.
I would think,
not just dressers, but also, we're trying to, and we always do this on the amphitheater because of what Ian said with bringing things in and out. We do have minimal sets, but we do have 5 plays with different sets.
Okay.
And so anybody that's willing to help us move those sets around, that'd be fantastic. In addition to that, we've got all this stuff going on with the booths. And 2 of the booths that we're going to have, one is going to be focused on all the different entertainers and not just entertainers like John Cheever. There's going to be one of those booths, and if anybody hasn't gotten involved in acting yet, but loves entertainment and would like to talk to people about that, because we're going to have things there, they're welcome to assist with that.
Okay.
So lots of opportunities. I suppose I will not be selling the T-shirts, but they will be there.
Okay.
As
good.
well as a couple of hoodies, because we've been asked to have hoodies
No,
as well.
it's getting to be fall now, so
Right.
yeah.
So there's absolutely opportunities for volunteers.
Okay, great. So the plays will run from 1 to 3. Then at 3 o'clock, the dance showcase takes
That's
over?
right.
Okay.
Yep.
About 3:30.
3:30, the dancing?
Yeah, because actually
yeah.
Marcus is going to open up at the pavilion at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock with music, yeah.
And then 1:30 the plays will
Okay,
go,
gotcha.
and then 1:30 to 3, and then the dance showcase will be 3 to 3:30.
Okay.
Then John Gorey is going to sort of close out that part of the entertainment back up at the pavilion
Oh, all right.
at 4.
Yep.
And then around 4:30 is when we'll start with the bands.
Yes. Let's talk about the bands. Who's
Yes.
playing?
So the first one is 21 Grams or More, which you probably can talk about the bands more, but one of the things I thought was pretty cool was to find out where the name comes from. So, again, correct me if I get this wrong, but apparently some scientist or something tried to figure out the weight of a soul.
The weight of a soul? A person's soul?
That they were going to weigh a body right before they died and what they died. And I thought, could you imagine if you're like dying, if you don't mind terribly?
Could I weigh you before and after? Is that the wow?
But it's
Okay.
apparently a thing,
All right.
which I had never heard of. But that's what they're named after, and I think that sort of speaks to their personality.
Okay.
And then Quincy Boys.
Quincy Boys, they're a couple of gentlemen who play, how do you describe it? Alternative, acoustic classical rock.
Oh, all right.
They're both Quincy born and bred. They grew up, jumped in the quarries,
Sure.
that rooted.
The Life
and-
magazine front page
Yeah.
cover there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we really felt it's important to have Quincy represented within the music
Yes.
and as well as the plays and the booths. So we're really excited to have them come and play for us.
Nice. Very good.
Unfortunately, our other Quincy band, who had been penciled in, had to cancel due to a medical emergency with one of their members. So that would have been the Rudder crew.
Oh, sure.
But
Yeah.
we have the Quincy Boys, and so we're really excited to see them play. They're going to be awesome.
Super. Very good.
Yeah.
And the life-sized book, Anne, will be on
Yes.
display throughout the whole day as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it's 7.5 feet tall by 5.5 feet wide.
Wow.
And it will be the centerpiece of where the booths are.
Mhm.
People can come read about the history. I'd encourage them to take pictures of it, but it really represents some of the key moments in Quincy's history, some of which, similar to what we're doing with the plays, some of which people may know about, some of which people may not be as aware of.
Neat.
It does finish with the Dropkick Murphys, because we were inspired by the Quincy 400 having them to perform. They're the most modern of our history at this point, but it's pretty exciting that the big book is happening. I'm
Neat.
very excited about
What's
it.
going to happen to it afterwards? Do you
I would like to donate it to the city.
Oh, okay.
I would absolutely like to donate it to the city. We're building it so it can be in the outdoors.
Yes.
I might talk to the Library of the Historical Society, but I think it's our gift.
Somewhere
For
a permanent
Quincy 400.
installation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very neat.
yeah. So we'll see what they say.
Okay. Anything else we should let folks know about right now?
We'll have Break Rock Brewing there.
Of course.
Quincy's award-winning brewery.
Yes.
It's, so very excited to have them partner with us all season long up at the amphitheatre, and we're very pleased that they'll be there all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, all of the food that people have come to expect at Friends Fridays will be there.
Okay.
And I'm also in conversations with another non-alcoholic drink establishment that is iconic in Quincy, so we'll see what they say. It's not Dunkin', by the way, but
Okay.
they've been very busy. So, but I am intending to try to have some non-alcoholic as well.
Okay.
I mean, they have it at the barbecue and the other,
The Greeks.
Greeks,
George's Greek Tavern.
and Moms on the Go. They all have drinks, but anyway, yeah, the food should be lovely, and come out and come and go, and I just think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's our gift to the city. It's our celebration of the city, and I hope everybody can come out and enjoy it.
Okay. Couple of different ways to get more information. friendsofrga.org or.
So actually, the Thalia Theater Troupe
Yep.
.org
Okay.
is, I don't know if you're going to put that up there, but
Yes.
there is a QR code. If they can scan to the QR code, it goes to the schedule.
Okay. Great.
So that's probably a good way. And one of the things that we have on there is some more descriptions of the place.
Excellent.
Even if people would like to donate this, we can't do this for free.
Sure. Or it could go to next year's programs too,
It
right?
can go to the next year program as well. So if anybody would like to donate,
Okay.
they can also go there to donate.
Can you buy a T-shirt online as well?
Not yet.
Not
but
yet,
We're
okay.
talking about it.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about more than just T-shirts. So watch this space. I've been really advocating for getting stadium cushions.
Oh yes, that's a great idea. Okay.
So I think I had said this when we'd come before that I used to say to Sarah, 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And next year will be year 4.
Wow, that was fast.
It's so
Wow,
fast.
yeah.
And so as we're approaching that year 5, there are ideas that have been bubbling up, and that's one of them.
Okay, excellent. Well, I guess I have to ask: is there a rain contingency if the weather
So
doesn't
here's the
cooperate?
thing.
Okay, yeah.
They gave me a rain date.
Yeah.
But it's October 11th.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So I'm going to acknowledge
Which
that
is Columbus Day weekend, actually. So, yeah. Okay.
and I don't know that I'll be able to get all the actors
Yeah, no, I
and
understand,
everything.
yeah.
So so if everybody can pray to the gods,
Okay. Pray to Ruth. Ruth Gordon,
and
right?
Ruth.
Yeah.
Ruth says don't face facts, so I'm going with her.
Okay.
So yeah, we do have one.
All right.
But
We're hoping not to use it.
we're hoping not to try to
Of
use
course,
it. I
yeah.
think if we ended up using it, it would be a modified. It wouldn't be as big.
Gotcha. Okay. So, well, so far so good with the weekends this summer. So let's hope that trend
We've been
continues.
very lucky. I will say.
Yeah.
And I think I've said this to you. Studio 2 has always ended up closing our Friday
The
Friday
Beatles
season.
tribute band, right?
Right, the
Yeah.
Beatles tribute band. And so this year we said, it's always been a rain date. So this year we said, we'll just schedule you at the end. It still rained the day that they were supposed to come. I think anybody who wants rain should say, when is Studio 2 scheduled for French Fridays?
So you can plan for it.
Because it always seems to rain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same weekend, at least it was Sunday, and it was very well received, but
Right.
it is pretty funny.
Yeah. All right. We won't talk about that
So
anymore.
we're not inviting them to this one.
I was just going to say, no Studio 2 at the Quincy
Studio
celebration.
At the celebration.
No, we're closing with Wolfpack.
With
instead.
Wolfpack instead, that's right.
a hard
Oh,
rock
another
out of
band. Yeah,
Boston,
tell us,
yes.
Ian. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The band's called Wolfpack. They're up and coming. They're very fun, very energetic rock band out of Boston.
From
Yeah,
Boston.
so they're
okay.
still nearby.
It'll be fun.
Very good. All right, it's a great venue for local entertainment and
It
for
is.
local talents. It really
Yeah.
is, yeah. And I know that the word spreads throughout the entertainment industry too, word of mouth, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Quin-
Sarah has a list of people that want to perform
That's
on our
great.
stage. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you both. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you have
Excellent.
a great event.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for watching us here at AM Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and we'll see you next time.